Well, hello everybody. Happy Thursday. Rare Thursday stream. I don't typically do those, but today's different because I haven't been able to stream all week, and today seemed like a good day. You know, we're relatively open. Waylon asks, am I a gay or a gourd? Or is he asking that about me or him? Well, he says I, and referencing him. I don't know, Waylon. I don't know of your gourdish status, but your name, Waylon, part of it rhymes with gay. So I'm not saying, but I'm saying. It could just be the unfortunate reality. And hello, Hostman. How are you today? Good on you for being here. I can't. Well, okay. So because these streams are from my PS5, it usually takes me a few minutes to get everything set up.
The world still changes. Was it waiting for me to return?
Usually it's about 2 minutes or so, maybe 3, before I actually start talking in these streams, and then I normally go back and edit those silent segments out. But hello. And as you all obviously see, I pinned in the chat a message about where the new home of my movie reviews will be, since I'm basically having to start from the ground up. It sucks, it's annoying, but it is what it is. So there you go. So please go over, support. I hate asking people who have already watched my videos to watch them again. If you decide to, you know, throw them onto the background or whatever because you've already heard them before, that is much appreciated, but it is your time, and I am not entitled to it. So if you do, I appreciate it. Though I ask, if you do, drop a like. Drop a like. Maybe leave a comment. You can say whatever you want. You can say, look, you stupid pumpkin, you don't know what you're talking about. Captain America Brave New World is amazing. It's the best Captain America movie. Maybe that's your position. Maybe you didn't see F1. Maybe you think, nah, I'm holding out for F2. Maybe that's who you are. And that's fine. You can be that. I have to find out Hosty and Waylon's schedules also, because me, Whitey, Jay, and Nadi had so much fun watching War of the Worlds. It's like, I want to try to have some guests here and there on, you know, for the watch parties, because that was amazing, and I've already got an idea of what the next one will be. Pretty sure I'm gonna rope Blue Collar Loser into it because he's actually seen the movie, but I think the next one we might do the new Red Sonja. Blue Collar said that movie was very funny, and I'm like, alright, I like funny. I like funny bad. Even if it's only to laugh at it. But I have already started to edit the watch party. Well, unfortunately, I'm not free on weekends. My weekends are pretty full because of work, and also NIAT streams. I do those. So I work weekends, so there's that. But if y'all ever find yourselves available for a during the week thing, I'll try to post our watch party times in advance. But this is basically me and Whitey are doing this. He's basically the co-host. And we're like, the current plan is, you know, maybe every 2, 3, 4 weeks we'll pick a movie and we'll do it. Some of them will be good movies, some of them will be bad movies. And, you know, see how it goes. And once we get the details ironed out for each stream, we'll probably put word out for, hey, we're going to do this movie at this time. We actually had done one already. Me, Whitey, and Vex did one some weeks back. We did G20, which I've talked about that before. And that was kind of the preemptive thing, but Vex's schedule, you know, she's also pretty full up during the weeks. She's able to do it sometimes, but, you know, she obviously has, like, Beast Up and stuff like that. Plus she edits, I mean, she practically edits full-time now. But yeah, I will keep you all and other people out there in the loop for potential streams. I gotta tell you, like, War of the Worlds, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And I highly recommend checking that movie out for the lulz. That is the funniest movie I have watched in a very long time. Bring friends, bring alcohol. Well, normally, like, my guest hosty is our... Like, the reason we did this particular one a little bit earlier was because, we had, Alien Earth to do a bit after, so we all did it at, like, 4 p.m., so it'll be a fluctuating schedule. Like, I know, like, the guys who do, like, EFAT movies, for example, which, in many ways, this is going to be kind of like that. I know that they basically do it whenever they can. It's like, yeah, that's going to be our thing, too. And since it's not live, we can be, you know, we're not relying on people seeing it live. You know, so we can afford to be flexible. Janet, how you doing? Good to see you. My good friend hated Alien Earth. What was your opinion? So we covered the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth over on The Plot Strikes Back this past Monday. And it was me, Nick, who he runs Plot Strikes Back if you don't know him. I highly recommend his channel. Nick's a really good dude and has a really awesome growing channel with a focus on masculinity in movies. But anyway, so me, him, Emperor J. Goodwin, and Vex Electronica, we all watched it together, and it was horrible. I think it's really terrible. Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll put it in the chat for you. I'm pretty sure it just goes like this. I don't think there's any, like, special characters or anything. I mean, if that's not the proper link, his avatar is done in the same lettering as, like, Indiana Jones. If you see something different than that, it's probably wrong, but you can probably just search that name on YouTube. But I will not be saying it. Oh, Jeanette. I'm gonna have to suggest otherwise, my lady. I think you should gather friends and you should watch it with them, because War of the Worlds is the Troll 2 of the 2020s. It is really funny. I don't know if you were present when I was talking about it just a second ago, but I did a recorded watch party of that with friends, which I'm hoping to make a somewhat regular thing, by the way. And we all watched it together, and I am currently editing that to add to the channel. It is incredibly funny. It is one of the funniest things I've seen in a very long time. It's way better than any comedy I've seen over the last, like, 6 or so years. But yeah, the watch party was pretty great. We had a really good time. And we kind of ended up needing it, because right after that we watched Alien Earth, and Alien Earth is really bad. I mean, there are a lot of people who are liking it for kind of the same reason that they're liking Predator Killer of Killers, because it has gore. They don't think about the logic behind the gore. They're just like, ooh, gore, must be good. And it's like, that doesn't equal good. The sheer amount of product placement was over disgusting, just into cringe. Oh, I agree. Like, one of the funniest things about War of the Worlds is how many times they reference Amazon. It's so funny. Like, Amazon is practically a hero. Oh, that's right, I don't have the underwater thing yet. Whoopsie daisy. What's up, Whitey? The co-host of the watch party. When he used... Oh, gosh. The tape gun. Oh, gosh. It was so funny. But, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to call the watch party something like the Royal Theater or something like that. And, because honestly, I could not figure out a good name that combined myself and White Bear's names organically, so it'll probably just be the Royal Theater with White Bear and Papa Pumpkin. Which, by the way, yep, that's going to be the moniker for that channel, of course, which I'm sure you've seen. But, yeah, me, Whitey, and our guests had a really fun time. Or maybe we can call it, like, I don't know, maybe we can work something else. What, no white gore? Or no bearkin? Or Papa Bear? Oh yeah, so Waylon watched the Deathly Hallows movies. He's officially finished the Harry Potter series. Which, yeah, I know from my own experience with those, it's, it kind of goes downhill after Goblet of Fire. Like, it's not... Deathly Hallows 2 is so close to a really good movie, but boy, it fumbles the ending bad. Like, it fumbles the ending really bad. The Albino Pumpkin Theater. The Pumpkin Bear Man Cave. I don't know. I'll think of something. Or we'll think of something. Whitey might end up coming up with a suggestion and saying, this is what you call it. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, that is great.
Hard times have come.
On top of a bear.
But now they're gone.
And I'm dead. No, I've already got I've already come up, like, put together an image of my character, like, in a suit, and he's standing back to back with Whitey.
I don't deserve this. Seasons don't fear the Reaper.
It's a theater, temporary, and also works at the same time. Makes
She
sense.
hears the music
What?
too.
The Crown and Bear.
I'm starting to understand what destroyed her.
You know, that's actually not half bad. The Crown and Bear is not half bad, actually. And that's exactly what I was thinking, Waylon. It sounds like a pub name. That actually does not sound... What do you think, Whitey? That actually sounds pretty good. I have to ask Whitey, because he refers to his wife as Yak, Do you ever call her Kodiak? Yeah, I kind of like the Crown and Bear. Waylon, you might have actually come up with a name for us. Let's see. No, but it's a joke we've had because my name is Cody. Yeah. Cody and Yak, yeah. That makes sense now, actually. That actually makes a lot of sense. It is hilarious. I quite like that. Cody and Yak. Is that why your moniker is White Bear? Or are those separate things? We're sitting at a bar now. Yeah. Which that's easy enough to obtain. Clinking pints. Yeah. Can't we settle this over a pint? Alright, I can't walk across that. I keep forgetting I'm not in my other profile where I can actually do these things. I gotta remember, I don't have these abilities yet. So... Oh, there's some health, thankfully. Plus, we're in the area of perhaps the hardest, but also bestest boss in the entire game. One bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. One beer from the White Bear. We could even maybe work into an intro like the Bill Burr SNL sketch where he's drinking like the pumpkin flavored beer. He's like, I don't like that. Back when he was funny. You have a Blue Moon, I'm in. I've never tried Blue Moon, so it's... Although I've heard Belgian beers are good, but I've never had it myself. Never been much of a beer person. I'm more, I like rum and whiskey and scotch, and I actually like mixed drinks quite a bit. Margaritas, I quite like those. I'm selective too. I am selective too. I at least want it to taste pretty good. Most of the time. I can handle so-so taste if it's something like, you know, whiskey or something like that. Although, I mean, I'm more or less fine with the taste of it. I do like Kraken. Kraken's pretty good. That's almost kind of a coffee-like thing. You seem like a rum rider cat. Yeah, I like rum. And what's up, Boosh? I like Guinness. Guinness isn't bad. I like Guinness, alright. And by the way, Boosh, if you didn't see already, I'm having to move all my movie reviews to... I'm basically having to build my movie channel from the ground up because my main channel keeps getting penalized anytime I upload something movie related, so yay! So the link is pinned above if you haven't subscribed already. I hope you do. But yeah, it's wonderful. I know, Israel, right? A rare Thursday stream. I figured, well, I haven't been able to stream this week because I got pretty bogged down with not only the watch party and the alien streams, then came all the crap with YouTube, trying to fix all that and having to set up a new channel. And I did come up with a thumbnail template, which I'm pretty okay with for the time being. So, yeah. Now we get to go into the house. We go into the house. Oh snap. Now why on earth are we playing this way? Gooch didn't stream, so I had to listen to a political podcast while walking a dog. That's unfortunate.
Still need to
Halter Jibs, if you like guys who do deep analysis of twists and... Oh, that's interesting. Jasmine Crockett is such a mess. It's like her host shtick. No, I don't work Thursdays. I work... I go to bed early on Thursdays because I work early Friday morning. Well, early Friday morning, or Saturday morning, early Sunday morning. So, yeah. Now, of course, the mystery here is, who is this child?
Attention, attention. This is Captain Diverdale. Are you ready to submerge? Over.
Shot of vodka on the rocks, lime juice, ginger beer, and a splash of love.
We waited for too long, and the weather is turning.
Oh, no, you're fine.
There's a storm.
What's up, Cannoli? How you doing, man?
This is an order. We have to get away from here as soon as possible. I'm relying on you. Godspeed.
Her whole backstory is... Well, Cannoli, Waylon here, I think he came up with a name for mine and Whitey's watch party. I was trying to think of a name for it, and he popped in with the Crown and Bear, and it sounds like fun and pub-like, so we were like, yeah. By the way, I'll draw your attention to something. Because this game has very obvious Lovecraftian elements to it, the color space has to be a reference to Color Out of Space. It has to be a reference to that in some way. I don't know a ton about Lovecraft, but I know that there's that movie that's Lovecraftian. It's the astronaut. Yeah, I agree, Hosty. They are groomed to be what they are. They are chosen to be precisely what we're seeing. That chair screams king and... Yeah.
They're all hollow.
Hey, Box Office Brawler, how you doing, man? Brawler, I'll go ahead and tell you also, if you haven't seen my tweet about it from yesterday, there's a link above. I'm basically having to rebuild my movie channel from the ground up. So the link is there above. Yay. I'll have to get Brawler in with us for one of our watch parties as well. That is a pretty cool lamp. I agree. That's a neat lamp. I like that. The constellations and whatnot. This also tells us that this is the room, when you go upstairs, has been directly to our left this whole time. This is a room belonging to a child. Oh, dude, I am very curious to hear what you, Sassy, and Jules have to say about War of the Worlds. It's so funny. Chose for Ultima Online. Ah, okay. Cool, cool.
Hi, sweetheart. I'm not coming home. But I left your favorite dinner lying at the bottom of the refrigerator, okay? If you heat it up for 8 minutes, then 30
I appreciate it, Brawler.
everything
I
just
appreciate
fine.
it.
Just fine.
But yep, this is Celine's child.
See you soon.
Host, I guess, were you the one who said that 28 Years Later was a good movie and Gorge Channel back? Wait, I can almost never remember who said it was good. Like, I know, I remember Despot of Etram initially said it was good. He seemed to cool on it a little bit over time, though he still seems to like it. But, I still haven't watched it. I still haven't bothered to watch it. All my excitement for it just got drained. Oh dear. There's an astronaut at the table. Well, it's okay if you like the movie. It's another thing if you say it's good. I am gonna watch it at some point. Despot's hilarious. I like Despot. I've actually streamed with him once before. He is mostly pretty good taste in movies. He shares my deep abiding love for Amadeus. So that alone puts him in my good graces. What is the astronaut reading? What kind of food did they serve at the Crown and Bear? Honey. Do you think Weapons is worth a watch in theaters? It's worth a watch in theaters. There has to be fried chicken. Jeanette, how could you say that? Why would I serve up my own people in pie form? What is this, like some Sweeney Todd kind of bar? What the heck? Was Josh Brolin's performance any good? Yes. There isn't very much to his character, but his acting's good. The acting pretty much across the board is pretty strong.
I want to tell you a story about one of the captain's adventures.
In a dream of the future. Okay, guys. Square, triangle, or circle? What are we choosing here? What are we doing here? It really is, Hosty. What do we got? Square, triangle, circle. Triangle, square, triangle. We got 2 votes for triangle. Trisexual.
Many centuries ago, he met.
Did he meet our cutie pie, the bubble butterfly, her majestic twin rainbow coral queen, the villainous a chocolate jellyfish? I mean, I think this one, like, I know which one I would pick. But what should we pick? The queen, the butterfly, or the jellyfish? You see, I'm thinking the jellyfish. I'm thinking the jellyfish. Yeah. I think jellyfish.
The villainess, a chocolate jellyfish, and they
stole the witch's sunken riches. They played hide and seek down in the deep. That sounds sexual. They bugged abyssal lights extra tight. Where'd you stream with Despot? It was over on Dark Hours channel. It was me, him, Uninspired Reviewer and Despot, we talked Fight Club. Played hide and seek down in the deep. Yeah, I would say it's worthwhile to see Weapons in theater.
Played hide and seek down in the deep. The end. What do you think?
Chocolate
It's so cool,
starfish.
right?
Whitey.
It is cool.
Oh my gosh.
Centuries.
You're reminding me of that whole Craig Ferguson bit with the chocolate dollars.
Jellyfish play in the deep.
It's like, you guys, ever had a chocolate dollar? It's like, oh my gosh. Oh man. Decoding inner speech in real time brings society... Hang on. I gotta be able to see all comments. Apparently he said something conspiracy to brain transparency. Yeah, that's what we need, is to be able to see each other's thoughts. There's a great idea. Reaper was talking about his... Oh my gosh. I tell you this, Reaper cracks me up. Reaper is really funny. Like, he's ascending, like, the ranks of my favorite YouTubers. He is really funny. I agree, Janet. Oh dear. And the name Helios. Now we know the child's name, Helios, so this should be an indication that things in this world are bleeding, or things in the real world have bled into Celine's experience. Her ship is called Helios, which is named after the child. So, I can finally convict you of a thought crime, right? Liking Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Yeah, in Homecoming. You don't need to read my thoughts to know that I think Homecoming is an excellent Spider-Man movie. I think it's arguably the best live-action Spider-Man movie.
Otto!
And I will die it on that hill. I think Homecoming is a top 5 MCU film. It's excellent. That is a very well-written movie. That's not creepy at all.
Look. Look. It's Otto.
I will not take that back. It is objectively an incredibly well-written film. Homecoming is a very well-written movie. I understand that there are people who are like big into the comics who don't think it's a very good like adaptation of the comics. But I don't really care about adaptation as far as movie quality is concerned, unless like you can point to something that would have made something better. That's bad. But yeah, Homecoming is a top 5 MCU movie. It is an incredibly well-written movie. I think that's easily the most underrated film in the MCU. That is a very well-written film. I will say this, Jeanette, it's not impossible to move me off a position, but it's difficult because I usually arrive there carefully. People also defended She-Hulk as being comic actor. Yeah, exactly. Homecoming is definitely better than Infinity War. It's better. Now, I like Infinity War a lot. Infinity War is a top 10 MCU movie. Homecoming is written better. It's a better written film. And by the way, Holland's really good in that too. I mean, I would say this, Brawler, I like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man more overall. But, because you have to keep in mind, Homecoming is one movie. Now, Far From Home, I don't particularly like. I like No Way Home, but No Way Home, I don't know if I would call especially good. I think that movie's kind of a convoluted mess. But Spider-Man 1 and 2 with Maguire are both pretty great comic book movies. So I have no issue with saying, you know, Maguire is the better overall Spider-Man. I probably would agree with that. But I think Homecoming is pretty excellent. And most of the complaints I see about Homecoming, I don't think hold a lot of weight. So we're like, well, look what they did to Mary Jane. I'm like, Mary Jane's barely in the movie, so it's not that good of a complaint. Would you put Homecoming above Iron Man? Well, Iron Man's also a top 5 MCU movie, but honestly, I probably would say I enjoy Iron Man more, but Homecoming is objectively better. And the simple reason is because Iron Man has a really bad final act that's kind of hard to get around. Now, I think Iron Man peaks higher for those first 2/3, but gosh, that third act is so weak. So it's hard for me not to hold that against Iron Man, whereas Homecoming is pretty strong throughout. So yeah, I'd probably put Homecoming over it. Like, honestly, if they had, no, it's fine if you're not into Tom Holland's acting. I mean, really outside of Spider-Man, there's really nothing I'm particularly fond of him in yet, so. Well, which movie are you talking about? Homecoming is plotted very well. That is a very well-written movie from, like, start to finish. Like, that's a strong movie. I'm gonna have to disagree there. Homecoming's very good plotting. There are some really good plot elements to that film. Like, I mean, it's one thing if, like, the story itself, if what you mean is the plot doesn't interest you that much, it's like, okay, that's fine. I mean, that's a matter of personal taste, but as far as, like, the way the plot is written, it's written well. That's a well-written movie. Nah, I can't give Garfield that. I like Garfield, but Garfield just, I mean, it's hard to give him that title because he got stuck into nothing but bad Spider-Man movies. And those Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are garbage. Those are both garbage movies. He's good in them, and I think he kind of steals No Way Home as well. I quite like him in that. But, he got stuck into a couple of bad movies. What's up, Blue Collar? Oh, I'm really looking forward to, I am really looking forward to Nobody 2. To answer your question, Israel, I have started watching Amazing Spider-Man. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm probably about 45 minutes into it. It's terrible. It's terrible right off the bat. And I'm like, I don't know how you salvage it at this point, so I'm comfortable already calling it a bad movie. That opening with, like the whole thing with his dad is so freaking terrible. Like, there's already a ton wrong with that movie. But yeah, I guess I have to finish it. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, I figured it was. I didn't have really any hope for it. I figured it would suck, but Ah, good. There we go, we got that. And we got some ether. Ether hunt. What do you mean Sony can't do comic movies? They did Madam Web, which is arguably like the best movie of the decade, obviously. I don't know if you know this, but like that guy was with her mother in the Amazon hunting spiders just before she died. So, checkmate. Best movie ever. I watch Zaxxas streams. At least when I can. I mean, I'm not able to be there every time because, I mean, he does them kind of late, but yeah, I enjoy Zaxxas streams. I've been on one before. That's a really good question, Boosh. I've never understood that myself. It's like, who got her back? I mean, it literally says on her birth certificate that she was born, where was it she was born? Whatever freaking country that was. Holy crap, that movie's funny. I watch his Versus streams, I lose my mind. Yeah, Peru. I think you're right. That's to fabricate the items. I've got to fabricate the items. Otherwise my melee cooldown has increased by 2 seconds. Yeah. Homecoming is better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 1, I might agree with you there, because I think Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is probably top 3. Like, I would rank Homecoming 4th in the MCU. I would put it number 4. I think Civil War is number 1. Now, it's not my favorite. That's probably my second favorite or third favorite MCU movie, but it's the best one. I think Civil War is kind of easily the best MCU movie, and it's even in the conversation for best superhero movie, period. I would put Guardians... Well, I would put the first Avengers probably number 2. Then I'd probably go Guardians number 3, and then Homecoming number 4. I would have Guardians 2 in my top 10, but not top 5. Well, Civil War, it's not even a matter of like, it's that good. Civil War is one of those movies, the more you watch it, the more you pay attention to the ins and outs of how well they establish characters and motives and story. That's an exceptional superhero movie. That is an exceptional movie as far as superhero films go. It is very well done. The fluffing that people do over Winter Soldier, that's not the Captain America movie that deserves it. I'm sorry. Winter Soldier, I like it, but Winter Soldier has a lot of problems. That movie's got a lot of problems. Civil War is significantly better. They're really not that close. Madam Web is not as funny as Red Sonja. See, now you're exciting me. If Red Sonja is funnier than Madam Web, that just makes it all the funnier. By the way, Whitey, pretty sure Red Sonja is gonna be our next movie. the new one. Blue's been telling me how funny it is, and I'm like, okay, that might be the next one. Yeah, I mean, Like, I enjoy Civil War a lot. Or, excuse me, I enjoy Winter Soldier a lot. But Winter Soldier is a very messy movie. And if I'm being objective, I don't really think it's good. I'll tell you this also, I was thinking about The Dark Knight today, and I might have to bump my score down from flawed masterpiece to great, because there's kind of a huge plot hole that I rarely hear people bring up, if ever. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone really bring it up, but it occurred to me and I couldn't think of a way around it. So, if you recall, they agree, or Joker says he wants half of their money to kill Batman, right? Well, they give him half of the money later in the film. Why? He doesn't kill Batman. I mean, you could argue that he did something worth compensating, obviously, because he took Harvey Dent out of the picture, he got Lau back for them, all that stuff, but he didn't actually kill them, or kill Batman. It's like, I love the movie, but that's kind of a huge problem. That's the Joker's character. Well, no, that has nothing to do with a lie. No, he did not steal that from the mob. The mob, like, the Chechen is literally there saying, what are you gonna, like, the idea is they paid him. No, because, okay, the mob banks he hit, that was 60-some-odd million dollars. That's not half of their fortune. That's not half of their fortune. That mountain of money is a lot more than $68 million. We know that. You know that if you watch Breaking Bad, because that pallet of money is $80 million. They pay him their half. We know that because, A, the Chechen is there kind of congratulating him, and Joker says, I'm only burning my half. And that's why the Chechen looks so just dumbstruck by the idea, like, oh my gosh, he's burning half of our fortune right now. That's literally the half that they agreed to paying him for killing the Batman. That's what that is. But the problem is that he never killed Batman. So it's like, why'd they pay him half their fortune if he didn't kill Batman? Like, I tend to agree that he deserved compensation for taking Dent out and Lau, but they never established they'd pay him half for that. So that's kind of a hole. I mean, and I'm not saying it's like, I'm not saying this like breaks the film or anything like that, but it's a pretty big question. That's a pretty big question. How do you know they paid in full? Because he says, I'm only burning my half. That suggests, I mean, did you see that pile of money? I think it's fair to assume, based on his word and the size of it, that they gave him half. I think that's fair to assume. He literally calls it his half. So, I think that's a problem. Again, it's not a huge problem, but it's a glaring issue. I'm like, yeah, can't really say anything other than that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah, and then he killed the Chechen, exactly. Which is fine and everything, which, by the way, he was probably going to kill, Maroni, too, because that's why he says, where's the Italian? So, he was probably going to kill both of them, get them out of the way, but, you know, then Dent does that. Anyway, he does that for him. Let's spectacle, but the story leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, I think a lot of the plotting is good. I think the overarching story is strong. And kind of the, you know, the philosophical battle going on between Batman and the Joker is pretty awesome. So it's hard for me not to say that I don't love the movie, because I absolutely love the film. It's like, if I'm just going on favorite superhero movie to watch, it's that. I love watching The Dark Knight, but it's hard not to admit that that movie has a lot of problems on an objective level. It does. And the more I watch it and the more I take my feelings out of the equation, the more I notice. It took me a long time to realize that he burned Lau alive on the pile of cash. Yeah, a lot of people miss that because they only show him briefly, but I think the mob paid him earlier because he had done such a good job thus far. I don't think the mob would do that. I mean, it's fine to believe that, but that doesn't really solve the problem. It's headcanon. I mean, it's purely speculative. And plus, the second that they find out that he killed the Chechen, they'd be like, okay, we need our money back because he's going to try to take us out. I don't think the mob is the kind of entity that would pay someone early. I know your position on it, and I'll say this: it's hard not to admit at this point that there are superhero movies that are objectively better written than The Dark Knight. Now, do I enjoy them as much? No, but I think there's an argument that even Batman Begins is a better written film. Now, I like The Dark Knight more, but I don't know if Batman Begins has that many problems. Logan is one I've been wanting to revisit for a while. Logan's another one that I've been wanting to revisit because I'm curious how much of that holds up, because it has some elements that, if not handled well, could cause problems, so I'm curious how well it does everything. I do really love Logan, though. Chechenians are often gingers. Interesting. Have you done a top 10 comic book list? No. Not a definitive one, no. I mean, I know some of the movies I would have in there. I mean, granted, it'll depend on if we're talking, like, objective or subjective, but there would obviously be a lot of crossover in that. Tell you what, there's some movies that are in a lot of publications' top 10 that sure as heck wouldn't make it into mine. You ain't gonna see freaking Black Panther or Wonder Woman in my top 10 because those are bad movies. Like, how do people stop being crazy? Do they? I don't think that's really an issue because they don't really show people stop being crazy. Although I actually don't think that's that hard to reason out objectively. You know, if it's a drug, I think it's fair to assume it can wear off. I don't recall anything suggesting that the effects are absolutely permanent. So, I don't know if I would necessarily call that big a problem. I mean, obviously we know how, like, Rachel ended up okay is because she was given in kind of an antidote of sorts. We obviously know that Batman was given one. They were given kind of a cure. Like, that's literally one of the big plot points of that movie, is synthesizing a cure for it. But even if you don't get that cure, I think it's reasonable to assume that that drug might wear off, at least for some people. Like, I think it's a fair question to ask, but I don't necessarily think it's a problem. Unless there's some kind of contradictory piece of information to that. I sure as heck wouldn't go through all that trouble for Maggie Gyllenhaal. Katie Holmes, on the other... Yeah. Yeah, Katie Holmes was definitely the better looking of the two. Problem is that Maggie Gyllenhaal is the better actress. Like, I'll be honest, I don't think Maggie Gyllenhaal is ugly. I just don't think she's all that pretty either. I think she's kind of just... I think she's just kind of mid. Like, there's kind of a quirky cuteness to her, but... she's also, there's, you know, you could argue she looks strange, too. She's built nice, I'll give her that. Which that kind of helps there, too, but... yeah, she was an interesting choice for that role. I get the idea of wanting to recast it, although I do find it strange that Katie Holmes didn't want to be in the movie. Like, they weren't intending to recast the film. She just didn't want to be in it. And I was like, really? You don't want to be in The Dark Knight? What else do you have going on, Katie? Like, I even thought people were a little too hard on her for, like, they acted like her acting was so bad. And I was like, I've seen a lot worse. I mean, they acted like the performance was terrible, and I was like, I thought she was more or less fine. I've never quite gotten the backlash at her acting in that movie. I was just like, yeah, she's not great, but she's not bad. Some just like money. I can't imagine she would have gotten more money out of another role, though. That's the thing that puzzles me. I would have thought The Dark Knight would be the movie she'd make more money on. Especially if she got a deal for, like, residuals or a percentage of the box office. I was watching a video the other day where they were talking about how Russell Crowe was offered the role of Aragorn for Lord of the Rings, and he was offered 10% of the box office for it and turned it down. And his reason for turning it down was he didn't think that Peter Jackson actually wanted him for the role, that it was kind of a studio suggestion, and he thought Peter should have, you know, the right to cast who he wanted, so he turned it down. Though you could tell when he was saying it, there was a part of it that was like, I still kind of wish I hadn't turned it down. I think he would have been a good Aragorn. Now, it's hard for me to imagine him being better than Viggo, but Crowe at that point would have been a good one. I have little doubt of that. Whitey, let's see. Muslim is just the religion many get painted with, kind of like Mexicans coming from. What are y'all talking about Muslims for? Are you talking about Chechens or Muslims or something like that? I don't see a blocked Whitey message. I see most of them, I think, but... Are you Urks not entertained? But yeah, he could have done something, but I don't know. We got blessed. Oh, I agree. I mean, I'm glad we ultimately got Viggo. It's hard to imagine somebody other than Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn. It's pretty excellent in the role. Collect a parasite. Hey, look, a parasite. What's it do? Greatly increases melee cooldown. We'll take it for now. We'll remove our malfunction, and hopefully we'll find something that got rid of that gets rid of this. The Chimney Chechnya. The Chechen. Oh, we're keeping that. Finally saw 99 Homes. That is a dang good movie. Loved it. I agree. 99 Homes is really good. That's one I definitely recommend people check out. Very good movie with Andrew Garfield and Michael Shannon. But shoot, that reminds me, Jeanette asked a question about Andrew Garfield with Hacksaw Ridge, and I'd meant to answer it and then got bogged down with the other stuff, so sorry about that. I don't recall what was asked. Michael Shannon is an excellent actor. He is. He's kind of a douche in real life, but he is undeniably a good actor. Really good actor. Except for Zod. I mean, I think in an alternate universe he could have played a really good General Zod if, you know, the movie were better, but as it is, he was stuck doing Snyder's garbage, but yeah, Michael Shannon is, I mean, he's a typical Hollywood liberal. So, yeah. He's actually from the city where I live. On a farm. I don't like Hacksaw Ridge. His accent and tone grates on me. I freaking love Hacksaw Ridge. I was saying that Garfield wasn't a Spider-Man I was fond of his performance, and Hacksaw Ridge is fantastic. I agree. Honestly, the only thing I don't like about Hacksaw Ridge is I don't like the CGI violence. I think the CGI violence is already showing its age. It's not holding up well. So it's kind of grating, but it's still more or less effective. But yeah, Hacksaw Ridge, I really like that movie. Though honestly, my favorite performance in that movie is probably Hugo Weaving. I love Hugo Weaving in that movie. I mean, he's not in it a ton, but gosh, he's good in that. He is really good in that. Like, I'm always curious, like, what an actor who's so well known for their voice will do when he's, you know, kind of, you know, he's asked to play something that's so different than anything else. But, yeah, him playing his father, gosh, he is so good in that role. I was like, he should have been Oscar nominated.
I don't remember much about my childhood.
I will keep that in mind. The Dressmaker.
Worth recalling. Mother was always herself. I wasn't that bad, was I?
Okay, not ready to go back in there yet. Is the Dressmaker anything like the Phantom Thread? By the way, Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis is a pretty dang good movie if y'all haven't checked it out. Yeah, I will keep that in mind, the Dressmaker. I love the sound of the chorus. That organ, it's so good. Oh, really? Yeah. Phantom Thread, it's a Paul Thomas Anderson movie with Daniel Day-Lewis. It was the last movie he acted in up to this point. Now, I know he's about to come out of retirement to be in his son's movie, but yeah, he did Phantom Thread before that, and it is really good. That is a dang good performance. But Daniel Day-Lewis has been a good actor. Anybody who says that should just jump off a balcony. Do you like Casino a lot? I love Casino, and yes, I probably would say it's in my top 4 for Scorsese. I love Casino. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis is coming out of retirement to be in his son's directorial debut. I think the movie's called Anemone or something like that. Which probably means it's like Finding Nemo, right? Hard disagree there, Will. I love Casino. I think Casino's one of the most rewatchable films he's ever done. I've watched that movie probably a good 10 times. I think it's awesome. Like, Goodfellas is a better movie, but I've probably watched Casino more times. Not by much, but I think I've watched it more times. Matt on Zach's show. What? Oh my gosh. The dressmaker follows a woman coming back to a small town she left for a funeral, I believe. It's been a while, and the drama ensues. Interesting. I mean, the soul is even in the music choice. I agree. Yeah, Taxi Driver is probably the better made movie, but I've watched Casino more times, that's for sure. I don't find Taxi Driver all that rewatchable, to be honest. Probably because it's depressing, and I'm somewhat averse to watching depressing films, but I've watched Casino way more times than Taxi Driver. Watched it more times than Raging Bull. Like Goodfellas, I think is Scorsese's best. I think that's the best movie he's done, hands down. And I would probably say, like, I would put The Departed up there. I think that's really good. He's got some movies I still need to see. What do I think of American Hustle? I mean, I didn't dislike American Hustle, but I'd never have felt the need to rewatch it after the first time. It was fine. I liked it okay, but it was one of those movies that when it came out, it got way overblown. And, yeah, people acted like it, like when it first came out, they were like, oh, this is going to win every Oscar. And then people saw it and they were just like, it's fine. And that's kind of how I reacted to it. I was just like, it's fine. It's nothing spectacular. I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's well acted. It's a solid story, but never felt the need to rewatch it. I love The Departed. Yeah. The Departed. Alright, it's pretty dang good. And I'll say this, it's one of those movies that, a lot of people are like, oh, the originals are always better. No. The Departed is actually, I think, significantly better than Infernal Affairs. Like, I did watch the original, and it's solid, but Infernal Affairs is like a 6 or 7 out of 10 kind of movie. It's not great. Whereas The Departed is pretty excellent. I don't think it's its best. I think it's, I don't think it touches Goodfellas, but it's pretty dang good, though. Is the jump better than Departed? I don't think it is. I thought Infernal Affairs was just okay. I think what it's doing with its version of the story, I think is way too disjointed. Like, I don't think it hashes out its plot enough. I wasn't nearly as invested in its brand of storytelling. Yeah, Raging Bull is really good.
Rearranging.
But I definitely can't put, I definitely wouldn't put The Departed over Goodfellas. I think Goodfellas is significantly better. I think Goodfellas is a 10 out of 10 movie. I meant to type not. Oh, okay. You meant to type not. Gotcha. But yeah, I would definitely say The Departed is that rare example of a remake that is not just better, but kind of a lot better than the original. Like, The Departed is like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10 kind of movie, whereas Infernal Affairs is like a 6 or a 7. I like this game. Wait a minute, are you saying you don't? What are we saying here? As soon as my new processor arrives, I'll actually be able to buy this game for my PC. Should be fun. That's the only bad thing about the processor I just upgraded to. Both sites I checked, I have to wait. So I am getting it next week, but I like 2-day delivery. I prefer when I get it now. I want the thing now. Dang it. I'd have to look it up too. Tell you exactly which one. Basically, like, because of the motherboard I have, like, if I wanted, like, a really, like, uber powerful processor, I'd have to upgrade my motherboard to have AM5 ports. Mine only are AM4. So, I basically got the best possible upgrade I could for my motherboard. Which is fine, that's really all I need to run what I want to run, so, you know, if I ever need to upgrade further, you know, I'll save up for it, but at the moment, I don't need to. Really? You haven't seen Goodfellas? Oh my goodness. Gotta get on that, lady. That was stupid of me. I'm getting my buttocks kicked here. Yeah, Goodfellas is freaking outstanding. Chicks don't watch good movies. That is sometimes true. No, that's I do sometimes. Sometimes. I do have to give my mom some credit. She did introduce me to When Harry Met Sally, which that movie's pretty freaking hilarious. Lived around the corner from it. Yeah. Dang. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. We living. Alright, sit in here. Yeah, it might be. Gosh, it's funny. Apparently our country wants to go back to the moon again. I mean, I'm not against that. The Untouchables. I'll remember that comment. The Untouchables is pretty... No, it's funny. The Untouchables is one of those good movies that I didn't like the first time I watched it. I was very lukewarm on The Untouchables the first time I saw it. I was just like, it's okay. Then I watched it again and I was like, what am I talking about? That actually was really good. I didn't see one good movie with my girlfriend in 3 years. I'm trying to think of some movies that I've had recommended to me specifically from women. Because Vex has recommended some good movies to us before. She recommended I Saw the Devil, and I was like, yeah, I Saw the Devil's pretty good. It's really freaking messed up, but it's dang good. I'm a fan of Kevin Costner. I'm not, Kevin Costner is like, he's hit and miss to me. I don't think he's a great actor. I think he's capable of great performances if he's in the right role. But he has very limited range. Now, like, Dances with Wolves, I think is an excellent movie. I know a lot of people crap on it because they don't think it should have beaten the Goodfellas for Best Picture, but it's a dang good movie. Dances with Wolves is pretty awesome. Alright, have a good one, Blue. Enjoy. Oh, I'm gonna have to hard disagree with that. I think Dances with Wolves is awesome. That is some of the most breathtaking cinematography I've ever seen, and I think the story is pretty dang engaging. I very much like Dances with Wolves. I think that's a great film. Pretty great. Trying to think of some other ones. Let's see. My mother also recommended The Killing Fields when I was younger, which Killing Fields is a really good movie. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Dances with Wolves. Oh, it's not necessarily that I hear people say they don't like it. I hear a lot of people give that movie crap for beating Goodfellas, where I'm like, okay, I agree that Goodfellas is better, but I have seen far worse upsets for... Best Picture than that. By the way, Back to the Future is better than The Breakfast Club. I mean, that's fine. I prefer The Breakfast Club, but I think Back to the Future is probably a slightly better movie, but I don't know, they're pretty dang close, I think. I prefer The Breakfast Club. Well, he's comparing them because there was a Twitter thread going around and from where you would name your favorite movie from each year in the 80s, and I chose Breakfast Club over Back to the Future. So I'm pretty sure that's why he's saying it. Which, I mean, I have nothing against that take, but I prefer The Breakfast Club. There was another movie from 1985 that I also strongly considered, but I'm trying to remember what it was. Especially the sharing. Yeah, I love The Breakfast Club. I think that's a really, really good movie. Let me see. I'm going to check something real quick. Real quick. Let's see if I can catch this on just one simple search. 1985 movies. I don't like Back to the Future 1 compared to the sequels. Really? I like Back to the Future 1 way... Like, Back to the Future 2 is honestly the one that I don't love. Oh, I remember which... Okay. The one that I considered very strongly... There actually might be two. Let me check to see... So... No, not ranked, you turds. Let me see if this was... Yeah, okay, so there's actually 3 movies from 1985 that I prefer over Back to the Future. Like, if I were just... And I'm talking just favorites, not which is better. Although... Kurosawa did a movie in 1985 that I think is better than Back to the Future. It's not my favorite movie from that year, but it's the best movie from that year, and that's Ron. Kurosawa's Ron is an incredible film, and I highly recommend people check that out. It's basically a Japanese take on King Lear. It's worth watching just for the aesthetics, because just the cinematography and just the color palette of that movie is just absolutely gorgeous. And it's gorgeous carnage of all things. Like the scene, there's quite a bit of blood and fighting and whatnot, but it oddly looks really beautiful. Kind of crazy. But Ron is a masterpiece. It's so freaking good. But also that year, a movie I prefer over Back to the Future is Pale Rider with Clint Eastwood. I adore Pale Rider, and I prefer that to Back to the Future, if I'm being honest. Now, I would probably say Back to the Future is a better film than Pale Rider, but I like Pale Rider more, and they're pretty close. I think they're pretty close. I actually think they're pretty close. Yeah, Pale Rider is awesome. Love that movie. Let's see. Cannoli says, Sassy and I always argue she thinks Back to the Future 2 is better than the first one. I disagree. Back to the Future 2 is my least favorite one by far. And yes, Back to the Future 3 is the one with the Western scenes, which that's my second favorite one. But I think Back to the Future 1 is pretty easily the best one. Now, which one suits your taste more? You know, it's going to be a matter of preference, but I think 1 is easily the best. Ron is on Tubi. I recommend watching it. It's so good. And I'll tell you this, Ron has one of the best female villains in movie history. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, it has, because it's basically, yeah, it's, I don't want to say, but yeah, one of the characters is just, she is a deliciously evil villainess. I thought 3 was just a real feel-good time. I think there was a lot to be said for 1 in regard to realism. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like 2, like, I think 2 is probably the weakest one. Like, I think logically that movie creates the most problems for the whole time travel thing. Plus, it's weirdly grim, which has always been kind of a put-off for me, how grim that movie kind of tends to be. Oh, no problem. Make that ramen. Uh-oh, we got a lot of these dying. That's alright, we gotta hide in our feelings garden. Gets to hide in the feelings garden. Oh dear. You breaking out? Is that your nickname with the ladies? Pale Rider. Yeah, it is. Actually, wouldn't Pale Rider be more of a nickname for a woman? Aren't women more traditionally the riders? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, two doesn't do a lot for me. 2 is the one I enjoy watching the least by far. Anything from horrible Western times in the 50s, that's bad, I guess. It's like, I don't like them old timers. Yeah, I like Back to the Future 3 quite a bit. I don't think it's as good as 1, but it's fun. I like it. Indians! Alright, blew that sucker up. This game has a bit of Back to the Future, that stuff. Only the usual suspects will watch that mockumentary, basically. Wait, what are we talking about? The propaganda is so bad that Netflix is making... Oh, I saw that, the Jussie Smollett thing where they're like, oh, what if it was actually true? And it's like... Yeah, it's not. Nobody buys that story was true. Nobody in their right mind would buy that story is true. Even the people making that documentary, I don't believe they believe that's true. It's like, y'all want it to be true, because it was so embarrassing for yous. But that crap ain't true, and we all, like Dave Chappelle said, we all know that was clearly lying. But hey, this is coming from Netflix, the people who said Cleopatra was black. Part 2, still using dot matrix printers killed me. Whew, excuse me. Alright, let's head down here. Okay, we've already got that. Aha. There we go. Our xenoglyph. Yeah. Cleopatra from the Ptolemaic dynasty was black. Since we brought up Despot earlier, his takedown of that Netflix Cleopatra thing was freaking hilarious. That was really funny. Why is somebody saying that they should trade for Jared? Because random people exist on the internet, Israel. I saw it, and obviously that's probably why you saw it, because I commented on it. But yeah, I was just like, yeah, random goobers exist on the internet. There's a few members left of the Stidham cult. When they said that, I was like, are they sure he's still playing? I'm not. Take him out. Goober and booger are bush words. I've been saying goober all my life. No, I don't consider Travis Kelce a top 3 tight end. He doesn't block. He's incomplete as far as I'm concerned. And I think and the other thing is, I think Kelce in many ways is a product of the system he's in. I genuinely don't know how good he would be outside of Kansas City and Andy Reid. Gronk would be good anywhere. But Gronk's easily the best. I honestly don't think it's close. I think Antonio Gates is up there. Tony Gonzalez was great in multiple places, so I put him over Travis Kelce. And plus, Tony Gonzalez never had a Patrick Mahomes. That's for sure. Like, that's one thing I think people forget about Gonzalez is he didn't have like a Patrick Mahomes. I don't recall him having a quarterback anywhere near that caliber. That's not to say he never had good quarterbacks, but it's like, I mean, he largely played for what, the Falcons? I would even say Kellen Winslow Sr., it's like he's somebody that I was thinking about. It's like I'd have to look up his numbers and context of the period he played in to see where he would stack up. But yeah, I think Kelsey's like maybe 4th or 5th. Football is gay. Can't go on the water yet. I'll say this, while a lot of the culture is moving away from all that DEI stuff, NFL seems to be getting worse on that front. The whole male cheerleader thing, and I'm just like, what are we doing? I'm leaning the Chiefs winning it all this year. I'm not. I didn't see them do anything in the offseason to make themselves better. I think the Chiefs might take a bit of a step backwards this year and not make the I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. I think if I had to pick a favorite right now, I'd pick the Eagles. Yeah, I did. That was funny. I've got the Eagles repeating right now. I mean, the Chiefs have had good left tackles before. I mean, it's just... If that's all they did, it doesn't change that a lot of their other... It doesn't change that a lot of their other stuff isn't going quite as well. Yeah, I said Viqueen. I don't think I got reported for that. I thought that was on a different discussion. Although maybe I did for that, but... I didn't get any notifications over that tweet. I'm gonna grab some 6 Tyler chicken from Kroger's. Love you. We love you too. Yeah, the whole male cheerleader thing that's going around, I'm just like, gosh, it's cringe. It's like, get those fagolas off my team. I don't watch football for cheerleaders anyway, but I'm just like, guys, nobody wants to see these people on the screen. That's a quick way to get me to change the channel. Yeah, I called him a gay retard. Which I thought was pretty dang funny. I also, he tried to, like, quote tweet me, like, some kind of burn or something like that. Because I said something about, like, how the last line in his bio was kind of a cell phone. And he quote tweeted that saying, like, I was hunting for pronouns and came up full of it. And I was like, I actually wasn't hunting for pronouns at all. I'm always curious what people have in their bios, because people tend to say something about themselves in their bios. Imagine that. And sure enough, when I looked at his, I was like, you know, I think the way you're behaving right now is kind of contradictory to what you got in your bio, because it says in your bio you're complaining about people who don't have a spine, and here you are getting mad over the word queer. It's like, really? That's the word that has you all up in arms, is the word queer. That's a slur. It's like, it's literally one of the LGBTQ initials. What are you talking about? It's literally one of the initials. That's like that thing we joke about where it's like calling a Jewish person a Jew is like, oh, that's a slur, and it's like, but they are Jews. What are you talking about? You can't call a queer person a queer. Like, but what? It's like, what are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. I'm reporting you for calling a queer person a queer. It's like, but you just said the word. Yeah, but I'm allowed to say the word because I'm not using it that way. It's like, we're using it the same way as an identifier. I saw the list, and Bill Belichick is not the greatest sports coach. Yeah, I don't think he is either. After everything that went down in New England post Brady, I'm like, yeah, I can't I can't loft him up there in the position of greatest football coach at the moment because he did nothing without Brady. Now, if he somehow makes North Carolina like a great program and maybe takes them to some high-end bowl games or something, we might actually re-enter the discussion of best football coach. Because I'm like, okay, that would be something post-Brady, but Andy Reid is better, not greater. I think you can argue that, yeah. I do think that can be argued. It's hard to not agree with that. 2-minute lecture about using the word Jew on her stream. She actually went 5 minutes according to a buddy, but I said Jew and left after 2. Yeah, I don't get that. I'm just like, it's the identifying word. How did that also become a slur? That doesn't make sense. Because it's not even one of those things where the people group tries to say, well, only we can say it. This is like, no, it's just like the, you know, it's kind of the Louis C.K. thing. It's like, if you just put a little stank on it, it becomes a slur. All of a sudden it's like, what? I had somebody try to, I can't remember what I was watching, but I jokingly referred to Ben Shapiro as Big League Jew. You know, like, because it sounds like Big League Chew. And they thought, well, they're like, you shouldn't say that. And I was like, what? And they were like, that sounds anti-Semitic. And I'm like, how? How does that sound anti-Semitic? What are you talking about? I was like, if anything, that was a compliment. I mean, like, literally, I'm pretty sure the discussion was, like, baseball related. And, like, because I'm pretty sure, like, it was Ben Shapiro and other people on the Daily Wire. It might have been, like, an interview between him and, like, Steven Crowder or something like that. I don't recall. But baseball was part of the discussion, and that's what I called him. And somebody in the live chat got irritated with me for saying that, and I'm like, how is that bad? I was like, that's like a nice thing to say. To take that as a compliment. Well, and that's the thing. This person wasn't Jewish. That's the funny thing, is they were white knighting. And I was like, you know, I have my issues with Ben Shapiro, but I don't even think he would get offended by that. I think even he would have laughed at that. Like, this person was white knighting for that, and I was just like, what are you getting upset about? That was not a mean thing to say. It was a joke, and not said in a negative connotation. I don't get how that would bother anyone. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think even Ben Shapiro would have found that funny. Wow, I have 4 keys. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can get through this stage. It's a lot tougher when you don't have all your abilities at your disposal. It's much more difficult that way. I mean, shoot, Norm Macdonald used to tell Jewish jokes on the Weekend Update segment, which, by the way, if you haven't heard those, they're freaking hilarious. Like, he brings up one person saying something negative about Jewish people, and he goes, as a retaliatory measure, Jewish people made it snow in April in New York City. And I was like, haha, because the Jews control the weather. I was like, that's funny. Or like when he brought up, like, Marlon Brando had said, like, Hollywood is run by Jews, and he said, And when he apologized, he said something like, Jewish leaders will now allow him to go back to working. Let's see. Yeah, I'll pick that up. I miss Norm. I've been watching. I've had that Norm Macdonald itch this week, and I've been going back and rewatching some of his stuff again. Gosh, he was hilarious. Norm was a freaking legend. Like, even just his simple gift of making sure he could get you to laugh at things you know you're not supposed to laugh at was one of the funniest things he would do. Oh yeah, he told lots of Hitler. Well, and there was also, a lot of times there was some really biting context in some of the stuff he would say. Like, he often would have elements to some of his jokes that would have kind of a double meaning to them that was really smart. Like, he has that one bit on his podcast show where he talks about getting, mesmerized by his blue eyes and stuff like that. And he's like, I can kind of see how you can get easily mesmerized. I think we should kill the next Hitler. And there's some really, like, but he's kind of at the, while at the same time telling a funny joke, he's needling people who think that way, because there are people who, try to call people Nazis for silly reasons. He was way ahead of the curve on that stuff. Oh, I don't think Bill Burr ever rivaled. Like, I thought Bill Burr at his best was very funny, but never like Norm level. There aren't a lot of comedians that are Norm's level. Like I'll say this, I think Louis C.K. is really funny. Like, say whatever you will about him socially, the dude's funny, and he's really funny. Like, as far as, like, 21st century comedians go, like where this is kind of where we found them, I would argue he's probably the best one. Like, I think he's significantly funnier than Bill Burr. But, Norm, who more came up, like, in the 80s and 90s, I think Norm kind of demolishes all of them. Because he doesn't really, like, you can't lock him down as with a single style or type. Like, Norm could literally be funny any which way. Like, he can be, like, really dirty and hilarious. He can be really clean and hilarious. It's like he was really good at everything comedically. And he was constantly funny. Like, he makes being funny look almost effortless. And maybe that's part of it also, is because, like, he's funny outside of the bit. Like, he didn't have to be doing stand-up to be funny. He was just funny all the time. Oh, exactly, Boosh. That's definitely another gift he had. Like, it's hard to find an interview with Norm Macdonald where he's not funny. Almost better than Don Rickles. I mean, and Rickles was great. I mean, Rickles was phenomenal. Louis Black was hilarious back in the day. Yeah, Louis Black was really funny. Richard Pryor was funny. Eddie Murphy was funny. Dave Chappelle's obviously hilarious. He's way up there. Chris Rock I've never found super funny. I don't think he's bad, but I always thought he was a little overrated. Kevin Hart I don't think's funny at all. I don't think he's funny really at all. I've watched a couple of specials of him, but I don't think I've laughed even once. Which I'm just like, ugh. That one guy, the clean comic they've got going around there, I can't pronounce his last name. It's Nate something. He's got a kind of a funny last name. He's really funny. Yeah, Bill Cosby was a great comedian. Can't take that away from him. He was a great comedian. Hey, what's up, Jalen? But, I don't know, do y'all know who I'm talking about? That guy, Nate, it's what is that guy's name? Nate, it starts with like a B, I think? Aha, we get the other key. I'll tell you another, Anthony Jeselnik is really funny. I mean, he does like really dark comedy, but he's hilarious. Let's see, Nate, I don't know how you pronounce the name, Bargatze? Nate Bargatze. George Lopez is not funny. Yeah, he never really did anything for me either. Can't say he really ever did anything for me. I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff. But yeah, he never did anything for me as far as comedy's concerned. Lopez got worse and worse. Yeah. Jennifer Lopez is probably funnier than George. I think it's kind of monotone, but like, well, monotone is kind of, that's his shtick. I mean, he's trying to be monotone. Jimmy Carr, he's funny. Jimmy Carr's pretty funny. But yeah, Jeselnik is he's being monotone on purpose. That's part of the reason he's, that's part of the bit, is he's supposed to be, his character is meant to be kind of like sociopathic. But yeah, his jokes are really funny though. He cracks me up. I mean, he has some that don't land as well as others, but gosh, the ones that do are really funny. Because it's super dark humor. It's like, holy crap, dude. I'll tell you another one back in... Yeah, I know who Jeff Dunham is. Jeff Dunham's like, he doesn't do much for me. He's the one with the puppets, isn't he? Patrice O'Neal was hilarious, too. That dude was a freaking riot. Patrice O'Neal was really funny. Let's see, increases malfunction probability. I'm not worried about that because I don't have any malfunctions. Never watched Kevin Hart stand-up I didn't find funny. I've never watched a Kevin Hart stand-up that I found funny as of yet. I think Jerry Seinfeld can be funny, but I would more classify Jerry's comedy as clever more than funny. Like, he has some bits that I do think are really good, but I more think of his stuff as clever than outright just hilarious. Like, it's part of why his material works so well for the TV show. Is it's the kind of comedy that's better when you see it. Like, his was the kind of comedy that once you actually saw it, you were like, oh, okay, I get why it's funny. I think Dave Chappelle's funny. Yeah, Dave Chappelle's hilarious. Dave Chappelle he's undeniably excellent. But yeah, like, I like Seinfeld's comedy. and I respect the intelligence behind it, but I'm like, yeah, it's not always like laugh out loud funny. It's more just like, yeah, that's actually clever. It's more you just kind of find yourself like kind of chuckling and agreeing with it, but then when you see it in action on a show, you're like, oh, okay, now I kind of get what's funny about it. How do we get on the comedy topic? I think I somehow connected something to Norm Macdonald, and now we're off talking about comedians. Yeah, Norm is like my all-time favorite comedian. And not because he has like the best stand-up specials, although his are really good. It's just he was so all-around hilarious. Did you watch the Brady roast? I did. Brady roast was really good. Ricky Gervais, yeah, Ricky Gervais is really funny. Funny enough, you know, I brought up Chris Rock earlier, who, like I said, you know, I think his comedy specials are okay. Not necessarily great, though, but I've watched this HBO special a few times where Louis C.K., Ricky Gervais, Chris Rock, and Jerry Seinfeld are all talking about comedy. And Chris Rock has easily the funniest out of nowhere like line in that. He has like the funniest moment from the whole thing. I mean, mostly they're just kind of talking about like their varying philosophies on comedy, and it's actually really interesting because they all have like differing perspectives on various things, and they even disagree a lot on stuff. And yeah, it's actually, if you've never seen that discussion, it's really interesting listening to them talk comedy. Like, it's what was really funny about watching is like Ricky Gervais and Jerry Seinfeld have very like polar opposite approaches. Like they see comedy very different than one another, and that makes the discussion really interesting. Whereas, you know, Louis is kind of very laid back and just kind of listening and offering observation to kind of bounce off of them. You know, Chris Rock's there and he's just you know, speaking for himself more than anything. But, yeah, if you haven't watched that special before, I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. It's about 40 minutes. It's a really interesting discussion.
Archives. Even years later, I still dreamt of them. A tree riddled with eyes. The bed being swallowed by tentacles.
Martin Lawrence is hilarious in movies, but I never found his stand-up funny. I don't know if I remember if I've seen his stand-up or not, but he could be funny in movies. I liked Martin Lawrence.
Bipedal vertebrates.
It wasn't always a hit for me, but enough. You know, he hit enough for me to like him. Okay, I have to unlock the thing where you can shoot platform into this. What do we got here? Greatly increases max integrity, drop alerts disappear 1 second faster. Well, couple that with the one I have where they last 2 seconds longer, and I'm still 1 second better. So we're good. Also, the Martin has still some of the best. Oh yeah, the Martin sitcom. That was actually pretty dang funny. Seinfeld got some award. The comedian, I think, Robert Klein, Chris Rock, and Gary Shandling were there. Not aware of it. Let's see. I'll have to come back here later once we get all of our powers unlocked. It's my goat comedic actor. I'd have to think of all the comedic actors I'm aware of, but he's up there. He showed that he had a lot of great variety to his performing. I mean, I actually think some of his dramatic roles are some of his best. Robin Williams would be up there too. And Robin Williams is no slouch on the stand-up front either. Robin Williams has some pretty dang good stand-up. Hey. Ah, crap. That sucks. Not that Jim Carrey is the best person that comes to mind. Yeah, Jim Carrey and Robin Williams, as far as comedians turned actors, would be the two that come to mind off the top of my head for best comedians turned actors. They would be the first two that come to mind. At least for me. Alright, we're gonna keep our ether. Dang it. Also, the Wayans brothers and Jim Carrey guys start, yeah, with In Living Color, which In Living Color was great. I mean, I guess Jamie Foxx would have to be in that ballpark too, because he was a comedian, and he's a dang good actor. So, I can't keep him out of the mix, because he's pretty dang good. Guy has some pretty good roles on his resume, including an Oscar, and more than one nomination. I'm trying to think how many Oscar nominations he has, and he's got at least 2 that I'm aware of. Plus with the Oscar, probably wins. I mean, I'm not gonna put a whole lot of weight on who wins an Oscar as like a qualifier for who's the best, because I mean, Oscars are they're just voted on trophies by a very biased crowd. Like Jim Carrey not getting nominated for The Truman Show was idiotic. I mean, he absolutely should have been nominated, and they didn't even nominate him. So I'm like, you know, and that's not necessarily a knock on what Jamie Foxx has done. I think Jamie Foxx, you know, he earned his nominations. And for all I know, I haven't seen Ray, but I've heard Ray is pretty excellent. So for all I know, he earned that. Although it bugs me that he got a Best Supporting Actor nomination for Collateral when it should have been Tom Cruise that got nominated for that movie. Cruise is better in that movie. Cruise is awesome in Collateral. I don't know about best performance ever, but that was a dang good one. I might even agree that he should have won that year. I'm trying to remember who beat him. I'm trying to remember who actually beat him that year. So I might agree he should have won that year. But I've seen better performances, but that was a dang good one. Very memorable one. Nope. Nah. I'm taking that risk. Well, I mean, but he's not the first person to play two people in one movie, though. That's been done before, like, a lot. Playing two people in a single movie actually gets done fairly often. I mean, shoot, Tom Hardy did it pretty recently with that movie Legend. Which, Legend is by no means a great movie, but the acting is spectacular in it. He's playing two highly distinct characters. But it's been done a lot. But I'll be honest, that's for me, that's not a qualifier. I mean, to me, a performance is a performance, whether it's you're playing one role or two roles. I mean, granted, again, he did both really, really well. So, I wouldn't argue that he shouldn't have won the Oscar, because I tend to agree he probably should have. But see, this is part of the reason, him not winning is part of the reason why I'm not going to put the Oscar up as a big qualifier for which comedian is the best turned actor, because the reason Norton probably didn't win was because he was new. That was like his debut performance, and they were like, we're not giving an Oscar to a debut performance. Yeah, I saw that. He's wrong, but... And he'll probably get corrected on open bar. Or maybe already has. Because I know Mahler, him and Neurotic reviewed the first two episodes together, and they saw a lot of the same problems with it that I did. Yeah, Alien Earth is not good. It's kind of a piece of crap. Like, pretty much everything alien-related since Aliens. Basically, since Aliens, we haven't gotten anything good on the Alien front. That franchise is garbage now. I mean, to me, an Oscar is only important to the actor. And plus, by the way, it's also worth noting, if that is part of your criteria, Robin Williams does have an Oscar. He does have one. He got one for Good Will Hunting, and I think he's been nominated, like, numerous times. Like, I'm pretty sure he's been nominated something like 3, 4, 5 times. But, like Jamie Foxx, he has an Oscar to his name, but he got nominated for Dead Poets Society. I'm pretty sure he got nominated for Awakenings. I think he might have gotten nominated for something else that I'm not thinking of, but yeah, Williams has something between like 3 and 5 nominations, I think. And a win. Yeah, Robin Williams is... Now, well, my issue... Like, I don't think he should have won for Awakenings, because I think if anyone was going to win for Awakenings, it should have been De Niro. De Niro is pretty incredible in Awakenings. That's a better comedic. That's better comedic and serious acting than Robin. I don't. I might, like, I'll be honest, I can't think of many comedic roles that Fox is in off the top of my head. I think he is a really good actor on serious roles, but he does have a few stinkers under his belt too. Then again, they kind of all do. All he did was sit in his chair. No, he did not. He has to portray a lot of... He actually got so into his character with all the physical tics that he has to pull off that it took him a long time to shake those. He actually got very deeply into character in that movie. Pretty dang impressive acting by De Niro there. I never saw the Jamie Foxx show. But I know this, I mean, Williams has good comedic roles. He has great serious roles, like, you know, Good Will Hunting, Dead Poets Society, Insomnia, 1 Hour Photo. I mean, that shows a lot of range to his acting. You know, Awakenings is very serious. I mean, Robin Williams has some excellent serious roles. And he's also got some really good comedy roles, like, you know, Mrs. Doubtfire, obviously when he did the voice of Genie and Aladdin. I mean, he's great on all fronts. You know, and that's not to say Jamie Foxx isn't, but... And also, by the way, that's where you also have to include Jim Carrey. Now, Jim Carrey doesn't have an Oscar, but he has 2 Golden Globes, so he does have awards. He is great in serious roles like The Truman Show. He was great in Man on the Moon. He's great in Eternal Sunshine. Well, it doesn't matter if you like them. That's subjective. We're trying to argue... I'm trying to argue this from an objective standpoint. No feelings attached. Otherwise, all we're doing is giving opinion. Which, I can't argue against your feelings. I mean, your feelings are your feelings. I mean, that's not a question of who's better. That's a question of who do you like more. You know, that's who you like. If you like Jamie Foxx more, it's like, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But if we're actually going to discuss better, that's a separate discussion than who you like. Now, granted, it still would be very difficult to come up with an actual answer because, you know, judging acting performances, it's kind of hard to do that without getting into somewhat subjective territory, but... Well, no, that's not really doing that. That's not a feeling. I mean, I basically just acknowledged a reality about the Oscars, which is that the Oscars is voted on by people that have biases, which that's an objective fact. That's not a feeling. That's a fact. But I even allowed that to be part of your... I even said you can allow that as part of your criteria. I don't. Now, you could say me not having that as part of my criteria. That element of it is subjective, but I don't deny that. But again, but even whether you have it or not, both of them have Oscars, so they kind of cancel each other out. And that's part of what I'm saying when you're talking about, like, if we're actually trying to get to the bottom of who is genuinely better, you have to try to move out of the realm of opinion as much as you possibly can. Which, granted, for a category like acting, it's kind of hard to do it, because even how you judge a performance is going to be based on... a lot of that's going to be part of a subjective standard, but if you can establish a standard, then at least you can go objectively off the standard. But, again, it's acting, so it's hard to do. It's hard to do. But, I mean, if you prefer Jamie Foxx to the other two, I wouldn't necessarily argue against that. I think that's, I mean, I don't have anything against, you know, that choice. I'm not totally sold on the idea just yet, because I'm kind of trying to ponder their resumes as a whole to kind of come up with a choice on my own. But yeah, if we're trying to come up with something more objective, it's like, you gotta try to move out of feelings as much as we can, but it's hard to do. It's hard to do with acting. It's a little easier to do if you're judging simply movies, because, you know, you can go into things like judging the writing and stuff like that. Judging acting is a little bit trickier. I prefer Jim Carrey the most. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Jim's movies are easily the best movies out of all of them. I mean, if we're going out of preference out of all three of them, if we're bringing Jim Carrey back into the discussion, I would probably agree with you on that. Jim has more movies than probably either Jamie or Robin that I think are either better or that I prefer. The better one I'm a little less sure of, because Robin Williams does have a lot of really good movies under his belt, so does Jamie Foxx, but that one I might agree with. Because he has dang good comedies and he has dang good dramas under his belt. I can't even grab that one. Let's... It's so hard not to get hit. Okay. You've been obliterated. Jim Carrey is a pretty fun Riddler. I mean, I agree, he kind of does elevate a bad movie there. I would probably agree with that. Honestly, you could make that argument about several of his just normal comedies, that if you recast that, there's some of his comedies, like, they don't survive without him. Like, Liar Liar does not work if you don't have Jim Carrey. It's kind of that simple. It's a silly concept, and there's a lot of goofiness to it, but he makes that movie so fun. Is I Saw the Devil more messed up than Gone Girl? I would call it a different kind of messed up. They're very different movies. Even The Mask 2, The Mask 2 is awful. The Grinch does not work with Jimmy. 100% true. In fact, The Grinch is one of those movies that doesn't work whenever he's off screen. The Grinch, like, that movie drops like 4 or 5 points out of 10 every time he's not on screen. Like, he makes that movie. And gosh, if you read, like, what he went through to make that, to wear that costume, holy crap. That sounds like he had, like, they actually made him go through, like CIA torture type training so he could wear that suit for as long as he'd have to. Because it was just that big a pain to try to have to wear that, and you're just so closed in and claustrophobic. It sounds kind of awful. But yeah, if you cast anyone else in that movie, it's garbage. It's something to look up, Israel. It's something to look up. It might just be that level of torture, but it's like, that suit was something that they had to, like, seriously mentally prepare him for, because they were like, this is not going to be fun. Like, The Grinch is one of those interesting movies where it's not a great film, but he's amazing in it, and the production value is really impressive. Like, they really went all out to make that adaptation work, and it's like, you could argue that they never needed to make a live adaptation of The Grinch, but they really went all out to do so. So, I appreciate it. I kind of can't help but appreciate it. Jim lost his memories, was set in the 1950s. Oh, The Majestic. I know what movie you're talking about. The Grinch is very charming, yeah. Unless we're talking about that Benedict Cumberbatch animated one from Illumination. That one sucks. Did y'all ever see that one, the Illumination Studios Grinch? That was awful. I hated that. That freaking sucked. I was like, they pretty much took out everything that made the Grinch the Grinch. No, Aaron Anderson, that was a joke from Hot Fuzz. Aaron A. Aronson. Oh, the original Grinch is freaking classic, dude. The original Grinch is one of the best, like, pieces of television that's ever been produced. It's unbelievably efficient for something that short. I mean, that's an excellent storytelling with gorgeous animation, and it's about 22 minutes. It's kind of amazing how good storytelling was back then compared to what we get now. Like, there are people who were talking about Alien Earth, and they're defending the fact that there's, like, practically no character development in the course of 2 hours. It's like y'all had 2 hours to develop characters, and something like The Grinch can do it in 20 minutes. So don't give me this excuse, well, it's still early in the show. It's like, we're a quarter of the way through it. What are you talking about? Alright, got him. Nope, not that. Increases proficiency rate. That sounds good. OG Grinch still remains yeah, it does. Whether live or die, this run will basically be where we cap the stream off. Trying to live and beat this boss, but if I don't, that'll be pretty much the end of it. Just so I remember correctly, the Crown and Bear, that's the name you came up with, Waylon? Because I'm going to write that down as soon as I get off here. And try to work something off that idea, because I really like it. I like it. Cindy Lou open for AC/DC and that, yeah. Glad she can sing, because holy crap, she can't act. At least not in that movie. What did you think of Brady's State? The Crown and Bear, gotcha. The Brady State, what are you talking about? She can't sing either? Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, hopefully she has a nice, comfy job at a Waffle House. Oh, the Brady statue. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I don't really care that much about statues, but it's like, okay. Gosh, it sucks. Oh, did I get him? Oh, cool. I thought at least it looks like him. Yeah. At least they didn't do to him what they did with that Dwayne Wade statue. That thing was horrific. Alright, there's one key. Top secrets would have done. Oh, the number 23. I actually saw that in theaters. That was, or the Ronaldo statue. I don't know if I saw the Ronaldo statue. I may have to look that up. Yeah, I remember seeing the number 23 and the whole Top Secrets thing. I was just like, really? Top Secrets? Really? That's what we're going with? Okay. I thought that was really corny. It's like you're literally naming the author Top Secrets. Bloody hell. I saw Fantastic Four and Bad Guys 2. I have not seen Bad Guys 2, but I have seen Fantastic Four. She touched my Topsy Crips. Oh no. There's some ether going. Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Okay. Got out of there unscathed. Yes. Unscathed. We're alright, Smithers. Okay, enemies are on the way, I'm sure. More of these enemies, please. I can handle them fine. Personally, I thought Fantastic Four was very mediocre. At best mediocre. I actually kind of lean towards it being kind of bad, but not like awful. Like, I didn't hate the movie. There are things about the movie I liked. I don't particularly. I think Galactus sucked. I thought they did him horribly. I thought they could have made him a much better villain. But there are things I like about Fantastic Four. I think it's probably the best MCU movie since No Way Home, which granted is not saying a lot, because pretty much everything since No Way Home has been shite. But yeah, I watched it and I'm like, okay, it's better than Jurassic World Afterbirth, and it's better than that awful Superman movie, so I guess that's a plus, but it was very meh. Once it was over, I was like, okay, moving on. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, unless I make content off of it. But, yeah, best movie of the summer was F1. That wasn't even close. F1 was easily the best movie of the summer. Which, I did a video for F1. My reaction to it. By the way, Jalen, I don't know if you saw on Twitter or noticed in the chat, but there is a link to what's now my movie channel. I am basically having to restart my movie channel from the ground up because my main channel is being penalized anytime I upload something movie related. So that link I have above in the chat is my new movie channel that I just started yesterday. Which I have 2 of my videos up right now. I'll have another one coming out Wednesday, another one out the Wednesday after that. And I am working on stuff now for it as well, including a watch party edit for the most unintentionally funny movie I've seen in a very long time. Let's see, the number 23 was intriguing, but also stupid and contrived. Yeah, it made $77 million on a $30 million budget. Few critics gave good reviews, but I mean, a few did, but didn't the movie critically do bad overall? I seem to recall most critics panning that movie. Considering his last movie, Galactus was a cloud, and they got this look right. I mean, I didn't mind the look, I just think that he wasn't really a character, so that kind of sucked. Like I said, I'll be honest, like the idea of like their baby becoming his successor, there's an entailment to that I do find funny, which is the idea of the Silver Server having to herald the coming of Franklin. I was like, can we do that? Can we have her do that? Because that would be really funny. Ebert and Roper really liked it. What was his what was the overall rating though? I thought that movie got like really crapped on, from what I recall. At least that's what I thought. Let's see, the Rotten Tomatoes score for the number 23 is 7%. It is 7%. So, critics did not like that movie. A few apparently liked it, but the vast majority thought it was garbage. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I would agree that that movie deserves only a 7%. It's not, I don't think it's that bad. But it's definitely not good. Like, I've seen far worse than that, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good. 7%. Holy crap, that is... what an indictment. I broke my toe yesterday, which was fun. Oh, that sucks. In the comics, Franklin makes Galactus his herald after resurrecting him. Interesting. I mean, that's all fine and good. I'm not saying that. I wasn't trying to suggest that they are not like following comics or anything like that. I just thought the idea of like her heralding Franklin would be funny. But like how faithfully a comic gets adapted does not factor into an individual movie's quality, as far as I'm concerned. I think you can poorly adapt a comic and it can still be a good movie, just like I think you can adapt a comic well and it can be a bad movie. Sometimes comics suck, people. Okay, we got a lot of health lying around here, so that could be good. My Aunt Panned my uncle when he came home drunk again. It was a cast iron, I think. Ouch. Sorry, because I liked following a mother and a father protecting their child. It was a better story than a superhero running against other countries. I do like that idea in a Superman story. Well, I mean, it's definitely better than Superman. I think it's undoubtedly a better movie than Superman. I thought the new Superman sucked. Like, the new Superman I thought was pretty awful. I'm not a fan of it. Like, there's a few things about the new Superman I liked, but a very few. They are what I liked about that movie, the things I liked about the movie are few and far between. Because that is a bad film. That is a really bad movie. Oh, Lex Luthor, he's the smartest man in the world. Also, Lex Luthor, he allows people to take cell phone selfies around incriminating evidence. Because he's not actually smart, he's a freaking retard. Spider-Man accidentally killed MJ with his radioactive sperm after sex. I mean, you say that sucks, but you're acting like you're acting like that's never happened to you before. I mean, come on. That happens to all of us. I like the actor that they picked for Lex Luthor. I think his character's garbage. Because it's like one of the main things I didn't like about Superman or Lex Luthor is they act like adolescent teenagers. I don't like the way they behave. I think they behave like petty teenagers, and it really annoys me. They're supposed to be intelligent. Yeah, I am not a fan of Gun Superman at all. I think the movie is pretty garbage. Yeah, so they acted like James Gunn. Well, they acted like bad versions of James Gunn characters. That's kind of the sad thing, is James Gunn typically is pretty decent at writing characters. Like, even his Suicide Squad, while it's not a good movie, it has some pretty strong character writing in it. Finally putting on an English accent into it. Ah, here we go. Wow. We're already getting the key. We didn't have to fight like a super boss thingy. Nice, we can fight the boss. Alright. Toit. It's toit. Should the director or writer for a Superman movie. I agree. I think he's a bad pick to run a cinematic universe in general. Don't think that's a good idea. I think he's kind of proving it wasn't a good idea. Ah, here we go. We're getting on to one of my favorite parts of the entire game. Let's go over here, because we definitely need an integrity boost. Alright, so we got 84 lights left. Nullification sphere, don't need that. Interference sphere, not gonna help us. I wish you could sell this stuff, but oh well, you can't. Okay. Well, we're pretty much at the mercy of a one and done fight. We don't beat the fight on the first try, we'll just have to do it all over again the next time. Oh yeah, there's this part too. Maybe we can get enough to get a giant health thingy. That didn't go very well. Just short. Just short. If I could find 5 more eyeball lights, I could actually buy some health. Dang it, we only got 3 there. Come on. Give me something, game. Come on. Come on. Come on. I need the ambulance. Nothing. Nothing. Come on! We're so close. Come on, statue, give me something. I just need 2! That Guardians of the Galaxy is so separate from the rest of the MCU. Yeah. And I think 1 and 2 are really good. 3, not so much, but even 3 has good things about it, at least. I mean, it's not a particularly good movie overall, but it has good stuff. But, yeah, 1 and 2, I think, are really good. I very much like Guardians 1 and 2. I think Guardians 1 is very underappreciated. Or Guardians 2 is underappreciated. Yeah, I mean, 3 has some good character writing. I wouldn't say it has it across the board. Oddly, Suicide Squad's the weird one because it's not a very good movie, but it has really good character writing for most of the characters. Save for a couple like Harley Quinn, whose writing is awful. We got it. Alright. Now we're in business. We actually have a fighting chance. And Adam Warlock was awful. I didn't mind the animal stuff. I think the animal stuff was largely well handled. I know some people were like, oh, that's emotionally manipulative, but I was like, I think he utilized it pretty well. I didn't mind it. Actually, I kind of liked that whole thing. Alright. I mean, I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy is freaking excellent. I think that's one of the most rewatchable movies in the entire MCU.
Shadow Tower did so long ago.
Okay, I'm gonna drink in this scene here in a bit because this is like my favorite part of the game.
Why has my transfer been delayed? I have ways to deal with that. Delusions? No, they're helping me stay balanced. I've made a lot of progress. What is everyone expecting to find? If they shine a light at me, they'll see the shadow they expect every time.
If it's more sci-fi or space fantasy?
I wish I'd stayed.
I guess space fantasy. Malignant. Blah. Who can identify the song if they haven't heard this thing before from this game? Who knows the song? To explain more of the universe. Yeah. Why did bro comedians movies go very far? Constantly nothing but jokes. Unless your expectations are Naked Guns, stop trying to mix them. At least not to the extent that they do. Says there's health nearby. I don't see it. Hang on. Aha, there it is. Can't unlock that, but that's fine. We've got good stuff here. It's constantly into universe may die movies. Yeah. Like, I think Infinity War struck that balance really well. Like, there was genuinely well-placed humor in that movie that didn't undermine the stakes. I thought that movie balanced those elements really well. I saw a thing that... Oh, crap. Don't need that. We're gonna get that. Alright, here we go, my favorite boss fight. We're coming to it. Especially with the organ going.
The song is so loud. I have to silence it.
This is a fun fight. I think Gunn was kind of pissed at how the Russos handled the Guardians. I don't know, I thought they handled the Guardians fairly well. Alright, fight time!
The song. Why are you playing it?
Uh-oh. I hit way too many times on that one. Oh, I got stuck. Yes, it is. And I love the music to it. It's one of my favorite video game tracks in freaking years. If you haven't figured out the track, this is a version of Don't Fear the Reaper. Ah, dang it. Got me right near the end. I don't hear blues. No, you don't. Like, da, 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 da. That's they're riffing on that. When I didn't get it, I just lost at the end.
I know it.
We'll go ahead and listen to this thing, and then we will call it a stream.
My lifeless, ancient ship echoes these words across centuries in absolute silence. Choice and consequence may somehow have reversed. The cycle has been
So if you watch some of the cutscenes, she starts, like, she plays it on the, piano several times, and there will be other contexts in which that song is brought up as well. But that is the song that they're basically doing a mix of. Yeah, it's awesome. That's right. That's what Celine needs. She could beat that boss with more cowbell. Exactly. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up for tonight. Are you being hunted by? What? Oh. The ice cream man. But yeah, that is gonna wrap it up. I will try to make sure I am back for my next stream probably Monday or Tuesday. I know I've got Plot Strikes Back Tuesday and Monday, so yeah, that's gonna be a fun one, both of those. But that is going to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all hanging. Had some fun conversations. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed to the New Movie channel, please do. Would appreciate your support. I'll see you all again soon. Until then, good night, God bless, and Godspeed.